Hey guys, Kenji aka NumotTheNummy here, bringing you an M12 Draft. I know it's been about a week since my last upload, but been quite busy. We're gonna go ahead and jump in the queue here. Preparing myself for GP Montreal. Been farming a lot of M12 drafts and sealeds. Hopefully, uh, priming myself for the Grand Prix, as it were. Got to give a shout out to our friends over at ManaDeprived.com, Canada's #1 magic resource. If you guys haven't checked them out before, it's a great place to get a lot of info and different types of magic related news. Just not necessarily a one-trick pony. Yeah, so if you haven't checked them out before, go ahead and check them out. Great place. I'm gonna restart the video here as soon as the draft fires. Alrighty, we are back for pack 1, pick 1, and we opened a pretty bad rare, Sutured Ghoul. I don't think I've actually ever run this card in any of my decks, limited or constructed. It's just costs so much, and the effect is so variable that it's not something that you want to first pick or even 10th pick maybe. I think the best cards in the pack are probably Deathmark, Stave Off, Arachnus Web, I guess maybe Mighty Leap. I'm going to go ahead here and take the Arachnus Web. I think it's the best card in the pack. It's effectively an arrest for creatures with power 4 or less. Or I mean 3 or less. And in a pinch, you can use it as a one-time removal spell to get in some damage. So yeah, Arachnus Web is going to be the pick here, and I don't mind going into green. As mentioned previously on other vids, I like green quite a bit here. Nothing much in this pack. I think the best card in the pack is probably Giant Spider, followed by Mana Leak. Drifting Shade's alright, Mesmerist is fine, but we're just going to pick the Giant Spider, especially since we picked up the Web first pick. And yeah, we're not really passing that much. Now we got some choices here. It's a pretty good pack. We have Warstorm Surge, pretty good card. I mean, every time I've drafted it, it's been a little bit slow, because you usually have to sandbag some creatures to get true value from it. But I mean, having an effective, I guess, Flametongue Kavu out of a lot of your creatures is pretty good, and the fact that it deals it to players as well is a really powerful effect. I mean, you see this card going around late in drafts, but I think it's probably better than people give it credit for, but still it's a little bit slow. Sorin's Thirst, Skywinder, Carnage Worm are all pretty good cards, I think. I'm going to go ahead and take the Warstorm Surge here. I think it pairs really well with green, since green has a lot of the fatties, and I don't want to pick up the Sorin's Thirst because it's double black, and we've already passed some decent black. The Skywinder is an option, but I'm going to go ahead and pass that. Wow, it's a good pack here. If I had taken the Skywinder, I would have snack picked the Aether Adept. I think the Aether Adept is my favorite common out of the M12 set. It's just so much tempo, so good, and I really do like blue. But since I took the Warstorm Surge, I'm going to go ahead and take the Gorehorn Minotaurs. I know there's a Shock in the pack, and Shock is, a removable spell, which is always good, but the Minotaurs is just such a beating, and it pairs nicely with the Warstorm Surge. I mean, playing this with Bloodthirst and then getting 5 damage to a creature player is pretty sweet. Unfortunately, we have to pass the Adept and the Shock, but Gorehorn is Gorehorn, and we'll happily take it. A decent pack here again. Ring Flesh is a pretty good black removal card. Divination's fine, Ponder's good. Fastward Gorger's alright as a top end for green. I think I'm actually going to take the Goblin Chieftain here. I really like this card in draft. I mean, you get a lot of the cheap Fire Slingers and Pikers when you're in red. And this guy just does a lot of damage. Does a lot of work too. Yeah, we're going to go with the Chieftain and run with it. And get past another mediocre pack here. I think we're just going to slam the Titanic Growth. They don't have Giant Growth in this set, and so the Titanic Growth is that new version. And people can see it coming a lot of the time, but it's a great spell, and +4/+4 is quite a lot. It actually works well with the Warstorm Surge too. If we have like a Titanic Growth in our hand and we play, and we have a Warstorm Surge out and we draw some low drop creature, we can play the creature with this trigger on the stack. You know, Titanic Growth it and get in for 4 more. Unfortunately, we have to pass another Flash Freeze, so whoever's getting blue and is picking up the Flash Freeze is going to have a good deck against us. But yeah, we'll take the Titanic Growth. Ooh, nice pack here. I really want to pick up the Goblin Arsonist because we have the Goblin Chieftain, but I don't think you can pass another Arachnus Web. Combust is obviously a very good sideboard card, and Fiery Hellhound and Titanic Growth are both fine, but I'm just going to go with a removal spell. That's a late Elite Vanguard and a Phantasmal Bear. So the only thing in this pack that we're going to take is the Stampeding Rhino. This and the Greater Basilisk. I actually like this guy more than the Basilisk, even though the Basilisk does a lot more work. But yeah, we're just going to take the Stampeding Rhino here because we're not going to take the Rise of Flourishing. Alrighty, get our pack back, and our pack was admittedly very weak. Nothing in it. I'm just going to take the Slaughter Cry. It's the only card I think I'd play. I don't like Reclaim and I don't like Fog. And Slaughter Cry has its uses. Just the leftover scraps now, so we're just going to cut the green and red color just to signal purpose. The Bear and the Mantle, the Bear and the Manic Vandal are actually playable. I'm just going to take the Bear here. We don't have any 2-drop creatures, and you can easily pick up a Vandal later in the draft. I guess the same is true for the Runeclaw Bear, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, just all junk here. That's pretty nice, 13 pick. Vastwood Gorger, we'll probably play it. So the first pack was not too bad for us. We did pick double Arachnus Web up, and we got some sweet creatures. Hopefully we can get some more of like the Llanowar Elves, the Garruk's Companions, and maybe some Goblins and Shocks and Incinerates. And we should be pretty set. Yikes. And we open sweet blue cards. Well, let's check what we've drafted so far. So what happens if we take the Mind Control here? We're losing out on a lot of green cards that we want to keep. And 1 or 2 red cards. If we don't take the Mind Control, I'm probably going to take the Bonebreaker Giant or the Tectonic Rift. And that doesn't seem like I'm losing out on very much. So I think I'm just actually going to take the Mind Control here. It's obviously the best card in the pack, and I don't feel like we're really losing much by not taking it. I mean, I do like this card a lot, but it doesn't seem like we're very aggressive at this point. We're more of the mid-range. Yeah, we're just going to go with the Mind Control, see what happens there. Alrighty, we got a Shock, Garruk's Companion, and I guess Gravedigger. Since we're in green, we're more likely to splash some cards like Gravedigger, but I think I'm just going to take the Shock here. We're pretty low on removal that gets rid of the thing permanently, and Shock fits the bill. Goblin Grenade. So this pack is pretty good still. Timely Reinforcements is a very swingy card. I mean, swingy in the sense that if played against you, and and the opponent gets both effects, you're just kind of like, how do you come back? Crown of Empires is a good card if it's any deck. It's just a little bit slow on the tapper, but it's good nonetheless. I don't really want to take an Axe here. Plummet is actually really good in the green deck since you have very few ways to deal with flyers. But I think I'm going to take the Grenade. I think it's the most powerful card in the pack, and I do foresee us picking up more Goblins in the future. And we're going to take Goblins higher priority already since we have the Chieftain, so we'll go ahead and take the Grenade. Ooh, this is a good pack. We're obviously just going to slam the Skin Shifter here, but Stormfront Pegasus, Basilisk, Looter, Drake, Elves, Ghoul, Sentinel, Hellhound, and even the Bear are all playable in this pack. Yeah, we're probably going to get something playable back at us, because the Flight's the only card that somebody's not going to take. So, yeah, this is a nice pack. We're going to take the Skin Shifter. It's too bad we're passing the Looter and the Drake, but I think we're just going to stick with the red-green at this point. And the Skin Shifter is really good for that. And this is why I love green. Nobody wants to draft green, and you get rewarded with like 5th pick Dungrove Elders. And since our deck is looking like heavier green, this card is just going to be insane. Pick up any auras with it as well, and this is just game over. Um, yeah, nothing much to talk about. The Sacred Wolf is fine, and the Sorin's Thirst is obviously good, but we're not in black. But the Dungrove Elder is just going to do so much work for us. Alrighty. I think here I'm going to take the Rampant Growth. Plummet is a good pick because there are a lot of flyers, but I think I like the Rampant Growth more than anything in here. I mean, we don't really want Active Treason in this deck. We don't look too aggressive. And the Matic Vandals, like I said before, we can pick up another. Yeah, we'll take the Rampant. This also allows us to splash things like Doomblade a lot easier too. In this pack, we have nothing but Goblin Arsonist, which we do want because we have the Grenade and the Chieftain, so that's nice. My apologies if my voice sounds a little bit hoarse. I've been screaming at kids all day. Yeah, nothing in this pack that we really want except for the Lurking Crocodile. I don't think this guy gets enough credit. A 3/3 for 3 is very good, and the Island Walk is quite useful a lot of the times. Yeah, just nothing else for us here. Circle Flame is fine. I've seen it blow out a lot of the fast red-black type decks that have a lot of the Child of Knights and Goblin Pikers and Arsonists and stuff. They just can't attack. Tectonic Rift came back, so I'm pretty happy about that. I don't know if you've ever got the chance to play with this card, but in aggressive decks or mid-rangey decks, not only does this get rid of one of their sources, sometimes even their splash color, but getting through on the ground for a ton of damage is pretty nice. I'm not going to play any of their cards here. I used to play Greatsword when I first started playing M12, but I've come to learn that unless you have 15 Tormented Souls, it's just not that good of a card. Distress and Mighty Leap are also fine as an extra note. Nothing else here for us except for the Troll Hide, and we're happy to take it. Yeah, nothing here. I guess Pride Guardian. Here's the pack that had all the great cards in it, and as we foresaw, some playables came back. We're gonna take the Basilisk here. Yeah, sure, Fire Breathing, I guess. Ah, they're rare. That's nice. So if we pick up a Pacifism, it'll be also easier to splash our white cards. Hide all these crap that we're not playing. Opened an okay pack. Doubling Chant is obviously not very good. I think we're just going to take the shock here. We're a little bit low on creatures, which is unfortunate with our Warstorm Surge. But I think shock is just, the best option. I do like Garrick's Companion quite a bit, but I'm just going to take the removal spell here. Ooh, and we get past a really nice pack. I think I'm actually going to pick the Cudgel Troll here. This is one of my favorite uncommons in the set. I think, like I've mentioned before, only one of the true ways to get rid of it is like Incinerate, Mind Control. If you leave up an extra green mana, it's just so hard to deal with, and I don't think Chandra's Outrage is quite as good as the Troll. The Gorehorn and the Lurking are obviously great, but I'm going to take the Troll here. Yeah, it's a pretty good pack. Ooh, got another good pack here. We're going to take the Incinerate. We'd take the Goblin Grenade if we had a few more goblins. Well, that's not true. We'd probably still take the Incinerate because I have a feeling the Goblin Grenade would more likely be able to wheel. But another Timely we're passing, so that's unfortunate. Take the Incinerate, be happy about that. You get past a pretty bad pack. I guess Naturalize is an okay sideboard card. I don't know if I'd really want to play the Goblin Warpaint. Not in this type of deck, at least. Yeah, I'll just take the Naturalize sideboard options. Alrighty.